everyone, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we're doing something slightly different. We're going to be in Canva and Cricut and using these two programs to create some journal stickers or icons for my journal for 2026. Now I'll be quite straightforward with the end result. I only have footage for the 5 stars, how they've been printed out, but it's basically the same way for the rest of the icons as well, but we'll get into that as we carry on through this video. So we're already in Canva now, and you're going to go to create a new document or design. I just chose an Instagram post 4 to 5 size. It doesn't really matter what size you choose. And then I'm in Elements and I was looking for 5-star options. Now, if you have Canva Pro, you have so many different options. As you can see on the screen, there was one that I already use all the time. If you do not have Canva Pro, do not worry. You can create your own 5-star sticker, which I'm doing right now by using one of the free star images and then just creating it 5 times over by copying and pasting, lining them all up, and then grouping them together. And then you would have your own sticker. So that is one way to make them. And then we're also going to be making 3 other stickers. We're going to be making an audiobook sticker, a ebook sticker, and I use the open book icon for a physical book. And I was contemplating making some mixed stickers because obviously I read a lot of physical books with audiobooks, but I've also been reading a few ebooks with physical books. So I just, audiobooks. So I thought that I would just leave that, continue what I've been doing by using 2 stickers. So I'm just going to show you the options again. If you are a free user of Canva, do not click on anything that has a little crown beside it. I think I've highlighted it a few times, gone over it to just say it shows you that this is an item that can only be used if you have Canva Pro. So you're going to be looking for ones that don't have that little crown next to it. But otherwise, the options are very much straightforward. Once you've found pictures that you like, you're going to put them in to the document. And it's very important that you give them their own page, because if you put all the icons onto one page, it's going to think it's just one image when you put it into Cricut Design Space. So you'll see in a moment, once I've shown you all the different options that there are under graphics, that I go ahead and put each individual item onto its own page. It doesn't really matter what size it is either, but I go up and resize everything so they're a little bit larger on the page. Like I mentioned, dimensions are not going to be an issue at this point because Cricut will take it in and make it as large as possible, and then you can resize it down when you're working with it. So here we are into the document that I'm going to be using for all my icons. These are the same ones I've used for years now, and I have no desire to change them. So I'm just going to resize everything up and center them on the page. I don't even think you need to do that, to be honest, but it just, that's what I've always done. So I just go ahead and do that. It doesn't take too long. Now, once you've done all of that, you can go ahead and download the file. Now, again, if you are a Canva Pro user, you can use the transparent background, and that will take that away. If you don't have Canva Pro, you can't, but don't stress, because in Cricut Design Space, you can remove your backgrounds. So it is an unnecessary step, but I just use it because I have the opportunity to do so. Making sure that all my icons are on their individual pages. I'm going to go download all pages, and then we're going to move into Cricut Design Space. So now that we're going to move into Cricut Design Space, we're going to open up the program. I'm already in a Canva, so I'm going to go back to the home page and get a blank canvas so we can just show you from the start how that works. And then we're going to go into upload on the left bar, and you're going to find your document or file with all the PNGs in it. So always make sure that you save in PNG or JPEG. And then bring it into Cricut Design Space and click flat graphic in this case, because I accidentally pushed multiple layers. I did not hit flat graphic like I was meant to, so I got a little bit confused here. So we do go out of this section in a moment, and then hit the right option. Flat graphic means that it will print then cut. And if you use single layer, I think there's the other one, that is when you're cutting out vinyl and stuff like that. So it will do basic cutting. So here we are in the canvas with our 5 stars, and you can resize this down. I went ahead and chose a size that I thought would be suitable for what's in my journal. I measured it out with a ruler, and I did make a mistake in the beginning. Cricut Design Space has had a huge overhaul, so it was a bit like learning the system all over again for me. I don't make stickers very often, so I had a little bit of an issue trying to figure out what I was doing. So we went back in again. I've highlighted one of my 5-star stickers here that I want to create, and I'm going to show you how to make it into a sticker. If we just left it as it was, it would cut out every individual star, and I mean the inside of that star and the outside. So we need to put something around it so it will cut that instead. There are 2 options that you can choose, and this is one of them. And for the star rating stickers, I thought this would just be more straightforward to cut it out on the machine. So I'm going to be putting a lot on the page. So you're going to go into shapes and find a rectangle. I chose a rounded rectangle. And I've also gone up to where it says basic cut, and there's a color palette there, and changed this file into a gray right now, but don't worry, it will become white before we send it through the Cricut. And then I'm going to put it to send to the back, so it's behind my 5-star, and then I'm going to align them as close as possible as I can individually, and then we're going to go into this pen icon up in the top left, and we're going to hit center horizontally. And this is just going to put both pieces together horizontally in the center, as it says. And you might need to go and hit center vertically as well, so it's in the middle of that as well. I think I do go back and have to do that on this particular sticker because I felt like it was not balanced enough. And once we've done that, we can then bring these 2 pieces together and flatten them. You have to flatten these because otherwise it's going to cut them individually. It's not going to be one file, it'll be 2. And so you'll have a whole bunch of rectangles that it will cut on a different page, and then it will have a whole bunch of stars that it will print and then not cut. So making sure that you have got your image correctly and then flatten it like I've just done now, and then you're good to go. So we need to remove all these stars that I've already gone ahead and made, and recreate the file again. So now that we've got our first star sticker the way we want it to, it's going to just simply cut out that rectangle and print the 5-star on top of that. We're going to have the tedious task of highlighting, copying, and pasting. The easiest way to do this is to, every time you've highlighted and copied some of it, is to re-highlight all that you've got now, and it will just grow faster that way. I have saved you the tedious amount of watching to see how I do that over and over. Once I have enough star stickers, I am now going to make sure that they're all aligned correctly. Again, we're going to go into that pen, and we're going to center horizontally, center vertically if we needed to. I don't think it's necessary at this point to do center vertically, but definitely horizontally. So they're all lining up, and then once they're all lined up, you can copy and paste again like I was showing, highlighting more than one at a time, and we're going to make sure that they're all attached. I made each row attached to itself, so obviously every time I then copied and pasted it, it was already attached. But if you didn't attach these, then it would try and print it on so many different pages. So once we're all attached to each other, I've made it one big block of stars. We're going to go and hit make once we're happy with everything, and the next screen will pop up. So here it's going to show me the page, how it looks. On the page, you only have a certain amount of space that you can print on, so A4 size generally, or I think it goes across as letter on this one. So making sure that you have enough space is important. We're then going to make sure we have no bleed on, because otherwise it will print really weirdly. And then I always make sure that we have system dialog turned on, because then you can access your own personal preferences. I like to always make my stickers high quality, and then we're going to print it. And once we've printed these out, it will give you this little window here. It will say verify print quality, making sure that you're happy with it. I push done. There's also the option to calibrate before you cut out your stickers. I've already calibrated before this because I made that mistake with the first section of 5-star stickers. And then I choose personally laser copy paper because that works with my sticker paper the most. Now, making sure that that arrow is in the top left corner when you're putting it on your Cricut mat is important, lining it up, and then we're going to send it through the Cricut. Making sure that you have this as even as possible makes the job easier for the Cricut. It will scan those 4 black brackets and make sure that everything is lined up for itself. But if you can help it by keeping things as straight as possible, then by all means try that. Obviously, sometimes when you print things out, it comes out crooked, and that does make it a little bit more challenging, but the Cricut can usually figure it out once it does its scanning job. This does take a little bit of effort on the Cricut's behalf to figure it all out, but it's a clever little machine, and once you've hit play, it will go through a whole bunch of noises. It sounds like an alien machine. And if you've got a Cricut, you know exactly what I mean, the little noises that it makes while it's trying to calibrate and figure out where all those scan lines are, so it knows where to cut within. I could have possibly put on a couple more rows of stars at the bottom there because there is a bit of wasted sticker space, but that was all right. I was happy enough that I managed to fit it all onto one page without having to do a lot of resizing. So it's just going to do this for a little bit. This is in real time at the moment, but I do speed this up in the moment when it starts cutting, because it does take a little bit of time for the Cricut to figure out what it's going to do. But once it's got its scan done and it starts cutting, it's actually very straightforward. And this was very quick because it's just rectangles over and over and over. So you can see now that we're going much faster and it gets the job done pretty quickly. So the other thing we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to do a different way to make a sticker using the audiobook icon. And I did not have the end footage for this, which is really unfortunate, showing you how the stickers ended up looking. But it's the same process again. So once you've got your sticker shape and you've flattened it and then you've highlighted, copied it over and over until you've got as many as you want on your page, it's going to be the same process again. So I didn't see the point in reiterating that a second time. Hopefully that's okay. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments below. Okay, so the Cricut file is almost completed now, and we can pull it off the mat when it is finished and check that the stickers have cut correctly. I wanted it to be on kiss cut, and it does that perfectly. And we can move on to the next sticker type. So we're going to go back into Design Space. I'm just going to save this 5-star file, because now that I've done the work, I can just come in and make it. I don't have to customize it in the future because it's set to the way I want it to. And we can make another file to make the audiobook, ebook, and open book stickers. Now, again, I mentioned before I didn't have any end footage for this, so I hope that this is satisfactory. It's just the same process over. I'm just going to show you a different way of creating the sticker background. So once we've uploaded the image into Design Space, we're going to use the same features again. We're going to go flat graphic, and we're then going to have a large audiobook, or headphones in this case, on the screen. And we're going to have the easier version of making a sticker. So this could have been made with a circle shape behind it, but sometimes the icons that we're making may not fit into a shape. So there's this really clever feature that Cricut has, and it's called offset. So we're going to go into the pen up in the top left corner, and we're going to hit offset, and it will create like a barrier around the picture. And the good thing about that is it will cut just that, and we can work with the shape of it a little bit Right now it's quite a large shape, so you can bring that down a little bit because that will be however much space it's going to cut around that sticker. Obviously this is going to grow exponentially smaller, so not grow at all. Sorry, it's going to get smaller. Perhaps I could have left that offset a little bit larger. It always comes in a dark grey colour. You can change it to whatever colour you want. Be mindful though that whatever colour it is, it will print that colour. I am now in the very important part of this. On the offset highlighted, you go into contour and then you're just going to remove all those bits that were white because otherwise it will cut those bits out. So now that that's done, we can join these together by using flatten again. So with them both highlighted, we click flatten. Did come up with this low resolution warning, but don't worry, once the icon is small enough, that goes away. And it's the same process again. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Just, you've got to highlight these again, get as many pictures as you want onto that page. Like I said, I put all 3 icons onto this particular page, but I just don't have footage of it. And it works out just exactly the same as the 5-star. So until we next meet, I hope you have fun creating and reading and journaling, and I will see you in a new video very soon. Bye everyone.